everyone, I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Steve Baxley.
And it's time for more Powerpuff Month. Steve, it's the month of May. Here on Geekvolution, we have christened that Powerpuff Month.
This is right. We have made it Powerpuff Month to talk about Powerpuff Girls because there's a Powerpuff Girls show on, so we're doing commentaries on Powerpuff Girls.
Steve, look, Mojo's not even a major part of this episode.
Is he not? Oh yeah, he's not in this one.
Or, well, he's probably, he's in the flashbacks.
Yeah, well, he's in like one or two shots. He's not like.
Is he in some of? I haven't seen this episode in a long time. I have no idea what happens in this. It's. I remember the gag. There's clips. It's making fun of clip shows. It's hilarious.
There's one clip I remember very vividly, and we'll talk about that one.
I know precisely which one you're talking about.
Okay, I figured.
I imagine. Steve, do you remember that time where we sat around remembering stuff and made a video about it?
I don't, actually.
Oh, you don't remember that?
I don't remember that time.
do you remember that time where we made Tick Month?
I do remember that.
Remember that time when we made Spawn Year and it took 2 years?
Remember that time we were going to make a video that's only an hour long and it turned out to be 3?
Oh, yeah. You remember that?
I do remember that.
I think that's like weekly, though. I think that just happens every time we get together.
It tends to be almost more than weekly.
Yeah. You remember that time when we got together and we made commentaries about Batman the Animated Series episodes?
I do remember that. I remember that time where we talked about Batman as well.
Yeah, the one time. Anyway, so today, Steve and I are going to do a commentary on the City of Clipsville. It is Season 5, the second part of Episode 8, so if you're looking at it on Netflix or on your DVD, get it to the middle of the episode. My timestamp is 10:23 on Netflix, and when I've done this a couple times before, and I should clarify, 10:23 is how much time is left. That's the timestamp on Netflix. So get it to there, and get ready to press play whenever I say now. Are you ready, Steve?
I'm all set.
And once again, you're not going to get to hear the intro, sir.
Aww.
Everybody, please press play right now.
I kind of feel like Clipsville should be its own city within the Powerpuff Girls universe.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, it's just like, it's very segmented, Clipsville.
Exactly. There's no highways to connect anything.
I feel like this is a gag that it might be lost on people if they see it now and didn't grow up with a lot of network television.
That's a good point. I can't remember the last time any of the current shows I watched did a clip show.
I think it's just become way too taboo, and it's an obvious, money-saving method.
Yeah, the only thing that does it annually is Power Rangers. And no one likes those episodes.
Do they still do that?
Yeah, I think they still do that. I haven't watched all of Dino Charge yet, but I'm almost positive it did it with Megaforce and Super Megaforce and what's it called, and Samurai.
Remember Turbo? I was like, why don't you just air the movie as the pilot? It was a pilot.
That's true. I don't understand why they don't just do that. Although, I guess to be fair, Dino Thunder had a clip show, which was Legacy of Power, that recapped the entire show's history.
See, I felt like that was practically necessary.
That was the 500th episode. I really liked that one.
Yeah, I actually liked that one. But the thing is, when that was on, I liked it because I hadn't seen a lot of that stuff.
That's fair. Okay, well, even better example is SPD did a clip show that recapped the entire season, but it did so because there was a mystery throughout that they just realized because they were thinking about these events. So
one of the things that's so fun about this episode, and here's the clip from Doggy. What is that? Something. I'm forgetting what that episode is called. Monkey See, Doggy Do.
Yes.
Jason and I just did a commentary on this one. This is actually the first episode.
Yes, it is. And they did a sequel to that one where it was exactly the same thing, except Mojo they're showing it now.
Yeah, and then they show it. Yeah, it's great. But what's great about this is it's like, now you can't possibly stop me because you wouldn't think of anything else other than biting me in my rear again. But yeah,
despite not being dogs this time.
It's great because, of course, they're using clips, so you think it's a clip show, and you think that maybe they're doing the money-saving measure thing like you usually do with clip shows. But then here pretty soon, they're going to start just showing you things that never happen.
Yep, that's actually, I think, what they're right about to do.
And it's absolutely genius.
No, it's great. It's really creative. Cartoon Network, for the most part, doesn't do a lot of clip shows. Ed, Edd n Eddy did this exact same gag at one point.
Really?
Yeah, and it was fantastic.
Well, what I love about the episodes they make up here that never happened is I don't want to see any of these actually be episodes.
No, of course not. These are the ideas that were left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, and they're like, some of them are kind of gross and wrong, and like the Powerpuff Girls is babies is like gross enough, but like then the teenager thing is disturbing.
That's the one I remember the most. That's the one that freaked me out.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Yeah. No, and they clearly seem to get that. We should remember that this is season 5, and season 5 isn't very good.
No.
But this is one of their best episodes.
No, 5 and 6 are both pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate 6, but 6 doesn't have almost any good episodes except maybe a couple.
I think part of the problem is that they started making mostly half-hour episodes in 4. And then and then for whatever reason, when they can, some of those aren't good, of course, but for some reason, whenever they started trying to make, 2 10-minute episodes again, they kind of ran out of ideas. And what's really disappointing and frustrating is you look at some of the DC comics from when these seasons were made, and you're like, why didn't you just take some of these comics and adapt to them?
I've never read any of that stuff.
Some of them are really would have made really good like season 1 to 2 quality episodes. So yeah, anatomically correct Powerpuff Girls is just wrong, and no one should do it ever.
And they still have no fingers. It's disturbing. I don't understand these physics.
How did you grow up and get those bodies? Why are you so tall?
I don't know. This is so weird. This escalator gag that we're about to see is hilarious, though. Cartoon Network at this point, because I think this was, 2004, 2005-ish, Cartoon Network started doing a lot more, like, teenage-oriented cartoons, and most of them were pretty bad, and they were about to start doing mostly live-action stuff. So this was their dark age.
Oh, that's a good point, and they're kind of making fun of some of that now. You're right. Like, this was that weird transition period. This show kind of ran too long.
Yeah, this show, Ed, Edd n Eddy, Dexter's Lab, all of them had seasons like this, where near the end they got, like, a weird restyling, there was more color to it and everything, and all their last seasons aren't very good, and that's when they all stopped, and we got the crappy stuff.
We got bad stuff, yeah, and it's kind of sad, because they could have done some really cool things with some of the new animation they were trying.
Yeah, I mean, I like the animation style, and of that said, I think Ed, Edd n Eddy had the best final season.
Well, and they started, having a little bit more depth in the animation, and it was a little bit more polished. And I don't think Powerpuff Girls needs to be polished, but on the other hand, I love the look and the tone and style of the movie, and you can tell that they took a lot of the like model work and shading and stuff that they had done from that movie and put it in their show after that.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And
like here. You never used to have like the wait. Is the Townsville Mall in the same place as the City Hall?
I guess so.
It kind of looks the same, but anyway, like in the early seasons, you wouldn't have the separation from that building in the front from everything from the back.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a good point. It looks more comic booky as it goes on. Like this feels like it would be an early 2000s comic book.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, the design's not the problem. The later episodes are really hit and miss, though.
I don't know what it is about Powerpuff Girls. I don't like awkward humor, but I love it in Powerpuff Girls. I love it in animation in a way I don't like it in live action, just in general.
That's fair. I kind of enjoy awkward humor, it just depends, but Powerpuff Girls does it really, really well all the time.
And then I renewed my driver's license. Yeah, that was a good story, Professor.
He's so proud of that, too.
Yeah, I'm with you. Why is this episode so much funnier than a lot of the rest of the season?
I'm not sure. I feel like maybe at this point, because when did Craig McCracken want to originally leave? Was it just at the end, or did he want to go before then?
I'm not sure what the story is there. All I know there's a really great featurette in the DVDs where he talks about how by the end they Cartoon Network said we're going to renew you for a season 7, and he was like, yeah, I don't want to make any more. We're burnt out. we're out of
Gotcha.
ideas. We don't want to keep it going. And in my opinion, they didn't end on a high note. I mean, he kind of makes it sound like, let's stop while we're still, doing all right. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the last episode's really forgettable. And this gag is ridiculous, and I'm glad this is not an episode.
Wouldn't it be great if it turned out that that Miss Bellum was Mojo Jojo the whole time?
Of course, that would be fantastic. I wouldn't want an entire reveal about it, though.
Wait, Mayor, are you looking at the audience? Do you know that the audience is in the closet?
I guess the bigger question for me is, does he just randomly walk from City Hall to the suburbs to the Powerpuff Girls house for no reason?
Yeah, that's the whole gag with the mayor, is that he's completely incompetent and he shouldn't be in charge, and sometimes he just wanders around and winds up places. And that he's actually like a crazy homeless person, but he somehow became the mayor.
Speaking of that, we should at one point do the episode where he's in a blimp punching people.
Yeah, yes, that's amazing.
I love that episode.
Is that the one where he turns into Rambo?
I don't remember if that's the one where he turns into Rambo.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, there's one where in his head he like turns into Rambo.
That might be what that is.
I don't know if I'm remembering that. I don't know if we've already talked over it, but this episode has one of my favorite Bubbles lines where she says, "You remember when we were in the closet remembering stuff?"
Oh yeah. Yeah.
She just said it. She just said, and then all those people came to our closet. ScienceCon '97.
That's awesome. And Coco. ScienceCon '97 and Coco.
That's good. Drawn before a live studio audience. See, they've got to go all the way with it. They're specifically parodying clip shows from sitcoms, and they did it all the time.
Yeah.
Friends was notorious.
Yes, it was.
When I've gone back and rewatched that show, I tend to just skip those.
I do too. I can't stand them.
But it sucks because you'll have some amusing jokes in between.
That's true. The issue is just more so like, if particularly now, right? Because of binge watching. Clip shows work on a weekly basis more than they would on a binge watch. I don't need a clip show when I've already seen everything just an hour ago.
Well, and especially if you're on a hiatus or something.
Yeah.
Where, like, if it's been a month and a half since you've seen the show.
Yeah, so I mean, like, there's reasons for it, but it doesn't work anymore.
I feel like there's no excuse with a sitcom.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like it's a short format thing. It's a a lot of sitcoms are a what a 2 or 3 camera setup.
Something like that, yeah.
And you're it's just an excuse to like you're not saving a lot of money that way, right? Like, it's pretty much just an excuse to not have to write anything that week or very much that week. The only time clip shows, like, I've understood them, even though it kind of sucks, is like Next Generation had one at the end of season 2. Is one of the worst things ever in Star Trek because of a writer strike.
That's interesting.
And they couldn't do anything else.
And with Star Trek, I guess it would make more sense because it is a deeper show. Then with sitcoms, like How I Met Your Mother, if that show stayed good, then a clip show would have been necessary at some point because of how convoluted it is.
Yeah, and Friends would treat it like that, where it's like, here's all this convoluted stuff because there's so many characters in the show and there's so much soap opera drama and stuff, and you're like, yeah, but I kind of think that anybody that is tuning in now, even if they're watching forward or just tuning in for this particular episode, the jokes still carry it, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't really need to be told, everything that's happened that's led up to this to understand what you're watching. It's not that complicated. Like, and even if it is, they also would write recap inside the episode.
Yeah, they would. And I mean, I don't think Friends holds up anywhere near as well as I wish it did.
Me too.
So I think that's got those problems all over the place.
Yeah, well, and it just repeats itself a lot.
It repeats itself a lot. There's so many notoriously bad breakup episodes that I just can't stand.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see some Arrow in that show. Or you can see some Friends in Arrow. Anyway, everybody, thanks as always for listening, and we'll see you again with lots more Powerpuff Girls content this month for Powerpuff Month here on Geekvolution. And thanks for listening. You know what, Steve? We've done a clip show on Geekvolution.
Have we?
Yeah. Well, not by we, I mean me.
Oh, yeah. Well, you did that for Vince.
Yeah, we did. Well, I did that. I did that little thing when Vince left the channel. But we also had several years ago. We did a Best of GNN show.
Oh, that's interesting.
And it was actually exactly the clip show sort of thing, where it was me and Vince reminiscing. And then we would like I picked the clips based on the conversation we had.
That's interesting.
We sat down and we're talking, and then I went in and edited in clips around it from whatever it was that we brought up, and it was like a half-hour show, and it was a classic clip show.
That's awesome. Did you do the wrinkle and fade into the clip effect?
No, but if I had it to do all over again, I would.
We'll plan that for the future.
Everybody, thanks so much for listening. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Steve Baxley.
See you later.